I have a wonderful electronic invention I want you to see.
We got to the point where we could control the laws of nature by advanced electronics.
go always. Don't you see the mess you made? Yeah, I'ma hit the road, babe. Yeah, I'ma hit the road, babe. I think we need to go always. Don't you see the mess you made? Yeah, I'ma hit the road, babe. Yeah, I'ma hit the road, babe. I think we need to go always. Don't you see the mess you made? Yeah, I'ma hit the road, babe. Yeah, I'ma hit the road, babe.
Hello and welcome to Valorant Challengers NA Promotion Relegation. I'll be your host, Mia, aka Mia Mouse, and today's my first day here on Challengers, so I'm super excited. Woo. But I can't wait. And I'm so happy to have you guys alongside me. Miss Athena, Mr. Jaws, how's your day going?
Great, wonderful.
Good so far. Hot in California. Yeah, AC cranked up, so yeah, pretty good.
It's even getting hot in New York. Finally, all the snow melted. I'm so happy. It's been a very, very cold winter.
Not snowed in anymore.
Thank goodness. I'm kind of over that. But Jaws, you're usually casting. Welcome to the desk.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited to do the desk, actually. The promotion relegations have the biggest stakes. So, like, yeah, this is going to be really fun. I'm looking forward to it.
And we've been watching the games these past 2 days. We've seen Rose win one. We've seen Blue Otter win one. What are we thinking? We have Blue Otter up against Winthrop today. Are we going to see a Winthrop win?
I think it's going to be, personally, I think it's going to be a little bit blue-sided. I think I've seen them kind of playing a lot in these other tournaments, warming up, playing a lot in Fun Havers. So I think their preparation is just a little bit a step ahead. But anything can happen. Again, there's two teams that now have won one game each. And if Winthrop wins another game, I mean, there's a potential for a tie today.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
The potential for the tie is kind of insane, but will it happen? I mean, I kind of hope it does in a weird way, but it feels like a Blue Otter sided series. It really does. Like, I think a lot of people are going to be in agreement with that. Winthrop, over the last 4 games that they played, they've only taken a single map. So yeah, chances, I think Blue Otter looking pretty high.
Yeah, I think we're all towards Blue Otter right now, but maybe they'll put the win in Winthrop. We don't know. And for anyone who doesn't know, these past 2 days has been a 13-6 and 13-11. Both of these maps on both days, same score lines. Chances of that happening again today.
It's kind of crazy.
It is kind of crazy.
Kind of crazy. I don't think it. Okay, I don't want to curse anything, so I'm just gonna be very vague.
No. Curse it.
No. There's no cursing here today. I'm gonna be very vague. I think that Blue Otter will potentially run away with this series, and I don't think it would be that close for Winthrop. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to say anything else because I don't want to curse anything.
You don't even want to predict scorelines? Like a map scoreline here? Come
on.
Okay,
you know what? You go first. You go first.
Okay, I'll go first. Hang on then. Wait, map scoreline. I put in the chat already. We were doing predictions and everybody said, you know, this team, this team. I said 2-0 Blue Otter. And I'm thinking, what, like a 13... Maybe like a 13-8 and then a 13-6. Give me that. There's you know, in the middle there. I'm giving a few rounds over to Winthrop, but I just got a lot of confidence in Blue Otter.
Yeah, I think especially this week there's a Friday the 13th this week. So there's something evil going on in the air.
Oh no.
So tell me, Athena, what happens if it comes to a tie today?
Yeah, so if it does come to a 3-way tie, I believe there will be BO1's round robin. So every single team will play each other in a BO1. And based on that, then the next team would get relegated. First, before that, though, if there is a 3-way tie, there will be actually a round differential check. And then if that's tied, then there's the BO1s. So ignore what I said. It is first the round differentials, and if it gets kooky crazy and it's a 3-way tie, round differential included, then we're going down to the BO1s.
Yes, I think I don't know about the BO1s. I'm thinking like maybe rock paper scissors, finger twisters, something along
boxing ring,
something along those lines.
Or knives only for 13 rounds and see who gets the win.
That's something I think I want to watch and everyone else wants to watch too. But Jaws, who are you looking out for on Winthrop today?
I mean, look, Winthrop, they've not done the best over the course of VCL so far. But honestly, I think Moose hasn't been too bad. I think as a standout player, he's the one you look for to maybe spearhead the victory for Winthrop. They've like Blue Otter. I think I had high expectations for them coming into VCL this stage. So I think Moves is going to be the guy that looks to shut them down.
I feel like, too, since Winthrop has gone through a lot of these changes, I think since the last time they played, when they did play in Ascension to qualify for Challengers, for all that, they had pretty big roster changes, and they also had a little bit of role changes. And I think Moves is one of those players that fell into that, where he's now playing on that Senti role, and he's doing a really phenomenal job. I think just as a player, he's consistently managed to find himself near the top of the scoreboard, regardless of the fact that they've lost majority of their games in Challengers. So I think it's really interesting. I think he just has a really good kind of grasp on his timings, on his peaks, his chamber, on the rest of the Sentinels, and has held a lot of these rounds together for Winthrop.
Yeah, we've definitely seen some awesome frags for moves, for players like Recoil. Like, just genuinely, all of them have been playing super well, and it's been super great to watch them grow throughout stage 1, now into promotion relegation. But again, this game is very important for Winthrop. So what are we looking for them to do in this game coming up that they need to really take home this win?
I just think they've got to set their own tempo. Just move quick. I think that's going to be the big thing. Just move fast, catch them off guard. And I think with them being so far down, like I said, the last 4 games, they've only managed to take a corrode, I think. Like, you just got to be quicker with your movements. And honestly, if you're able to kind of put those losses behind you and say, hey, we can't really lose much else. We just got to run at them. We just got to be better in the gunplay and then go from there. Because I like what you said about, and kind of talking about moves, and you can see the stats scoreline. Last game that they played, he was the only one over the course of the series that went positive. And so if your Senti players be doing that, calling the shots, yeah, moves, just rely on the guy and maybe you can pick up a W, but got to move quick.
I think too with Winthrop, they struggle a little bit with their map pool. Kind of like you said, they've only had success on the one map. And I think that when I'm looking at a team like this, when you do have such a little map pool, you need to have those maps that you have in your arsenal kind of solidified. And I feel like for me, I would just love to see them have a little bit more kind of team play, a little bit of a better macro understanding across the board, and making sure that they're kind of on the same page with playstyle. And I agree with you too. The tempo change would do wonders for them.
Yeah, I think Valorant is especially such a mental game, so it's really good to get rid of those losses, put them in the back of your mind, and then refresh for this one. So we'll see what Blue Otter has to do about it. Blue Otter honestly had such an amazing game yesterday. It was so beautiful to watch them play. I mean, we saw some amazing frags from 399, 299.
299, you got it. Whoa, wait, this is wrong. Hold
they added an extra 100.
What the heck? They just knew he was crazy, you know, like he got the extra 100, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's the ACS benchmark there, 399. So
that's how good he played yesterday. He added an extra 100 to his name. But throughout stage 1, Blue Otter, they unfortunately had a very unlucky run, and we didn't see like many wins coming from them. But yesterday we saw their first win. What are we thinking? Are they going to bring that momentum into today's game as well?
I mean, yeah, Blue.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say Blue Otter, they were massive yesterday. Like 50 kills, 31 deaths for 299. That's like a plus 19. Unbelievable stat line from the bloke. But the person that I was looking at was Bob throughout the entirety of VCL. Just playing Viper Killjoy in the match against Rose yesterday. I mean, again, just being up there in the boards, like having an insane KD over the course of the series is just something that I think people are expecting from Bob, and also pitching towards more of a Viper role, I think has worked out really well for them.
Yeah, I think it's been really interesting. And I think, too, I've had history playing with Bob before, and they're very good at a lot of their micro decisions when it comes to the game and controlling a lot of the map that is around them. And I think that's what Bob really proves themselves on that Sentinel, making sure that they're using that voice, getting a lot of that space, and making sure that a lot of the mid-rounding kind of goes the way that they see it on their side of the map. But yeah, 100% insane performance, really doing well. And it really feels like when they're in that clutch position, they're constantly winning it out. And Bob, I mean, when you guys are thinking about it, Bob has been around for so long, played in so many different challengers, moved from Oceania, moved to NA, and has played in game changers too. Like, this player has been kind of everywhere and is considered a veteran. And you can kind of tell through the play style, through the confidence of the plays, that Bob has been the player to watch for this team.
Yeah, and I like the pivot too. I mean, we saw a lot of Bob playing only chamber, and like, okay, a lot of the times Bob was left to basically fend for themselves. It was a lot of times where Bob was like last player alive, the chamber versus 2 versus 3 players. They weren't able to kind of clutch out the round, but moving over to a Viper, a Killjoy, looks way better. So this slight pivot, you know, it has to happen in promotion relegation. You've got to find something, but like it's worked out just extraordinarily well for them. And I think that's why I came into this series thinking it's going to be a 2-0. Having that adaptation of moving Bob away from Perma Chamber and going to like a Viper KJ, yeah, I think it's going to work out super well. And if 299 also picks up 50 kills over the course of 2 maps, yeah, that's also pretty good.
You know, what I really like is how we were talking about with moves, we're talking about with Bob. We're seeing these like Sentinel players frag it out, and I love watching like the non-duelist players really shine, especially when it comes to the kill feed. But we have also Recoil and Heartless have also been playing phenomenally in all of these games. I mean, when you look at Heartless with a 2.3 KD.
That is, yeah, a little bit better than Recoil's. Sitting at 0.9. You're vibing out. Yeah, I mean, look, Heartless has also been a standout for the team, and I think with the Sova play and with how they've, again, kind of pivoted. Heartless, I think, has been a very consistent factor. Are they at the top of the leaderboard every single time? No, because 299's fragging out of their mind. But being a consistent Sova player, setting your team up, and just being able to get a lot of early round info has worked wonders for them.
Yeah, and I think it's really interesting too how both these players are pretty flexible. But when you look at a player like Heartless, they've also played a lot of these different agents when it comes to duelists, when it comes to the Tejo. Like it feels like they've been on this initiator grind for sure. But when they're playing in tournaments like Funhaver, they're also enjoying the double duelist meta. A lot of the time pulling out that Waylay, pulling out that Neon, and going along with it. And I think it's been super interesting to watch. But just as initiators, both these players do such a good job at getting a lot of that information for their team. And for me personally, I used to be an initiator player when I used to play, and it is kind of really hard to kind of frag out all the time when you're on that initiator role, because you're constantly using a lot of your util trying to figure out what you want to do with the rest of the map and help your team, especially in like retakes. You have to play a little bit more back to make sure, you know, you're getting your team set up, you have all the information and stopping their retake really quickly, stuff like that. And they've done such a good job, but they've also committed to getting a lot of those frags and being in those clutch positions.
Yeah, I think they're playing the initiator and then also playing those like dive duelists. You have Waylay and Neon. They rush in so quickly, which I really think is kind of been benefiting for their momentum. Like they are pacing their game and they are, you know, directing where the momentum goes, especially on depending on which maps they are playing, which we are going to get to our map pick and bans coming up now. So I'm wondering if we will see like another Neon, another Waylay come out on these maps.
Oh, it feels like it. I mean, you see what's happening in the Masters right now. The Neon and Waylay are just so damn good.
It's brutal.
Corrode is going to get banned. I mean, I'm not really surprised, to be honest, because that's the last map that Winthrop won. So that makes perfect sense off the top of my head, coming from Blue Otter. But Abyss, Bind, and Haven is like...
I feel like it's a little bit like blue-sided, and don't get me wrong, I know blue is my prediction. I swear I'm not being biased, but like Abyss specifically, yeah, that's kind of our job, I think, at this point. No, but Abyss they're really good at Abyss for blue, and it makes a lot of sense that they've picked this map. For me, the kind of wild card here is Bind for Winthrop. I feel like we've seen Blue play it. They haven't been super successful at it a lot, but Winthrop as well. Like they haven't found a crazy amount of success on Bind. And I'm wondering if maybe like you're talking about, Mia, where they pulled in some kind of changes to their roster, to their comps, and they're trying to play a little bit crazy, trying to up the tempo like you mentioned, Jaws. But for me, this Abyss and Haven, I feel like is super blue-sided, just based on the fact that they love playing these two maps so much.
Yeah, I think for the bans here, we have pretty, like, I feel like they're pretty obvious. We have the Corrode ban, we have the Split ban for Winthrop. But just like you were saying, Athena, you know, we haven't really seen much of Bind for either of these teams. So I'm really curious to see how, especially that map is going to play out. I know we spoke about Abyss has been a little bit more towards that one side for Blue Otter, but on Abyss, what kind of tempo are you both looking for?
Well, again, I think I'll go back to my earlier point. I think it's just got to play a little quicker, like Winthrop. Just play it guns blazing. You haven't really got a lot to lose at this point. Let's get one of those BO3s coming in. Sorry, the BO1s coming in, just a mountain to them. They just got to be hitting super high here. Because I think when it comes to the map pool in general, like, okay, we're going to go to Abyss. Even going to Bind, like, if my memory serves me correctly, Blue Otter, they went to like insane levels of OT against Shopify Rebellion Black midway through challenges. A lot, like, maybe it was like 3 or 4 weeks ago at this point. But like, if you're going that close to Shopify Rebellion Black for Blue Otter, like, Bind's actually a really scary pick.
Yes.
So getting a win really early here for Winthrop is going to have to be paramount.
And look at those predictions. We have Ash, the only one for Winthrop. Honestly, Ash might prove us all wrong today.
I think it's definitely possible. Like, I think Winthrop still kind of brings a lot of firepower to the game. And I agree that I feel like just their tempo is a little bit off. Feels like they just need a little bit more of a push towards how their playstyle and their identity needs to be. But I still fully agree with the fact that this is a 4-1, because I do think I was kind of a little bit iffy on my pick. It wasn't like a 100%, 80, 20%. Yeah. It was more towards that 60, 40% for me for Blue to win over Winthrop. I do want to see a little bit of change coming in from Winthrop, which is why I did pick Blue. But I mean, call her out, Ash with Winthrop. That's crazy.
I was saying before, not only I think I like their logo more. Also, I was talking about that.
True.
I think it's the cutest thing ever. I love otters, so I was already biased because of the logo. But I also love like the little like comeback story that we had, and because I was saying in the beginning we haven't seen a win from Blue Otter, and then we saw one yesterday. I was kind of like felt like a proud mother when I was watching the game yesterday. But so I'm really excited. I do think it's going to be a very back and forth match today. I think we've seen amazing picks from both of these teams. Like, we've seen amazing rounds, amazing plays. So I'm just excited to see what this match has to offer for us today.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really, really fun. I think it's going to be really interesting too to see kind of what they bring to the table. Again, this could be a relegation match for Winthrop. This might be the last BO3 that they play in challengers for this split, because again, they haven't won the last game that they played. They've been struggling a little bit. They're 1-4 in that Swiss stage. They're struggling. They need to get this win against Blue Otter in order to kind of push themselves over the edge. And we talked a little bit about those tiebreakers. I think that's definitely a possibility. But again, for Winthrop, this is kind of do or die. And so a lot of these things, I know we're talking super lighthearted and we're kind of making jokes, but it's a serious game. I think that these two teams, they're really going to put everything that they have out there. For Blue Otter, they need to solidify this win, because if they go 1-1, again, that tiebreaker is definitely an option. So it's going to be a little bit scary. I think it's going to be a super intense game, and we're really going to see everyone put everything that they have forward.
Yes, I really think we're going to see, again, a lot of back and forth. I think it's very possible that we even go like the full time of the map. I mean, I don't want to say we're going to go into overtime or curse it, but I am thinking that for these teams.
We had some insane OTs recently, though, to be fair.
Yes.
So it would be on track.
I think we've been seeing a lot of comebacks too that are like very one-sided one half, and then all of a sudden they switch sides and a mental changes. There's a whole shift in their vibe. So, but I do think the teams are getting ready. So we will be right back. Don't go anywhere, because we're ready for this very intense match. And we're back after that short break. And in that time, Blue Otter and Winthrop got to decide who they are playing. So we see a Jet on that 399 today.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I'm sorry. I know you talked about 399, but Bob on Vito is kind of crazy. Like, this is a cooked comp. I really like this comp. I know we talked about them stepping away from the chamber, but Vito, I love to see this. We've been watching so much Masters, and I feel like the way that Vito has been played, it just allows for so much mobility and so much good stuff to kind of happen around the map.
Yeah, I think the only I'm kind of surprised by that as well, because I think Abyss decent for the chamber. Obviously, Winthrop have ended up picking that up. It would have been sick to have like a chamber off, but I like the position that Blue Otter have put themselves in. Put 399 on Jet perma, and then have Bob flex over to the Sentinel that isn't chamber. I really like this look from Blue Otter. Although we already spoke about how the Waylay and the Yoru can like get into sites and get things going. So I'm expecting Winthrop actually with this comp to move really quickly. So I want to see them actually change up their tempo here. Don't play too slow, just get in there.
Yeah, I think I really like the Waylay Yoru. I feel like we talked about them kind of putting everything on the line here, and I think this is what they're showing us. They're showing us a whole new side of them, hopefully a lot of a faster side of them, because this might be what they need. That double duelist dive comp, being really confident with what they want to do and being able to just take those sites. It's looking like a really, really fun game is going to happen.
I think it also is worth pointing out too, like there's a lot of like individual playmaking as well on Winthrop's side too. Like the Waylay can just open things up, like double dash onto site after a saturate with the shorty, insta kill somebody, get out, and then everybody rushes in behind them. So individual playmaking is also, especially in these high octane situations and desperate situations too, that's sometimes what you need to rely on.
Yeah, I think these comps are so similar yet so different, especially with these Sentinels. You have one, Vito has such good positioning on this map. Chamber pretty much owns mid on Abyss, but we're going to talk more about it. I'm going to send it to Gompers and Ash. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Mia. Ash, I just have a couple questions for you because they kind of singled you out there, and I feel like you need an opportunity to redeem yourself.
Listen, when I'm thinking about how this is going to pan out, I had to put my money on Winthrop. I knew that, you know, this match is definitely Blue Otter favored, especially with how they've been performing during the Mr. Funhaver tournaments throughout kind of this like a quote-unquote off-season, I guess, in between Split 1 and Split 2 heading into promo relegation. And they've had really great results. Like, they've been playing this comp that we're seeing right now with that Vito on Abyss for the last several matches now that we've seen in third-party tournaments. But for the side of Winthrop University, we have to keep in mind too, during stage 1, Moobs is calling on Sentinel, and that's a really hard job to do. Now that calling has shifted over to Strong Tall Guy, and I think it does make a lot of sense also him slotting into that Yoru as opposed to the KO that we'd seen from him previously. It gives that more of that opportunity where I'm thinking that we're going to see him playing like that slightly supportive Yoru kind of role for Fair on those entries. The desk was talking about it as well, Gompers, with how they wanted to see a bit of that pace change coming out for Winthrop, and I think the double dive is the perfect way to kick things off.
Oh, I agree. And with Echo being on this team, we've seen a lot of singular duelists, so bringing like that double duelist back, I feel like is gonna change pace, like you said. So I'm quite excited to see how exactly that's gonna work out. But yeah, already getting to it. Quite a bit of noise made, but not too much of an execution.
Yeah, a lot of respect being given just to this one way right now by the side of Winthrop University, while Moobs look to explore over towards mid. See if there's any aggression out of B main as well. Blue Otter being fully stacked on the left side of the map. Bob does have that opportunity to try and stall out. It's not going to happen though. And with her going down a free site, A site for the taking here for Winthrop, curious to see how this post plan is going to work, especially with Moobs looking to cut off those mid rotations.
But Blue have been working on some stuff too, right? They've been trying to get a bit more aggressive on their defense, but they're not going to be able to with Moobs sitting down in mid. So lots and lots of control that we're already seeing here, and a lot of information, but unfortunately not enough damage. So that being said, this pistol round is looking a bit more in favor of Winthrop.
I like this shift though, that reaction to that presence over into Heaven, looking to push over into Spawn there as well. A nice hold from Recoil, just looking to juke, and Zoe still now stuck in a 1v3.
Yeah, and already trying to get themselves out to take out Soulstall, but Soulstall's just connecting with the shots. Unfortunately enough, not enough time. So, you know, kills is all they can really satisfy themselves for. But that's a round win for Winthrop here.
And I think this pistol round is also so important for Winthrop as well when we're considering, again, how strong of a map Abyss has looked for this Blue Otter squad in some of these third-party tournaments, how much of a struggle it was previously for Winthrop on their old compositions as well. And you got to keep in mind too, Gompers, Blue Otter, they already have that win up against Rose under the belt from yesterday, that 2-0. Winthrop are the ones that are really, I think, have a bit more on the line trying to fight to stay alive because there are that one team that is 0-1 right now and trying to get things to a tie or even better.
Yeah, this is a team that guys have made ascension at some point. Like, I don't want to say, you know, they're going to give up just yet. They push through in reality when they are the underdog. So I do believe strength comes from that sort of pressure.
It definitely is tough. I think when Moves is, you know, the one player from that roster that made it all the way there. Meanwhile, for Blue Otter, this is also their very first time in promo relegation as well, right? Even though we didn't see great results from them in stage 1 being the first team out. And then last year in 2025, not seeing those results either. They still managed to dodge this do or die scenario to stay in VCL. But a quick execution now over towards this A site. For the side of Blue Otter, Zostel's just going to call for this full flood retake, waiting for the rest of the team to get here.
Yeah, Paranoia available. I mean, chances of being able to win this round are super, super slim. But I'd say, like, positioning-wise, especially for Winthrop, they are just positioned so well for trade-offs, right? You got a knockdown coming through from Moves. Actually, here, a potential contact trade, but doesn't matter, right? Just completely taking everyone down upon that entry. And that's going to be that second round that Winthrop is able to take off a Flawless.
The Flawless is massive as well because they go for that kind of like half buy into their anti-eco, right? They carry 2 pistols over. It'll give that opportunity for the side of Winthrop to look to actually buy into their bonus as well and have like a really strong economy going forward and a great opportunity to try to contest heading into this bonus round. For the side of Blue Otter, they're changing the setup now. It's going to be Bob over towards this B site after initially showing at A. We still have yet to see, you know, a lot of, I think, impact coming from that interceptor here as well, but she does have a TP to possibly look to get out as she looks to play close.
Yeah, a little more comfort too now that we finally have Vandals, but Moves in themselves has just been an absolute unit playing onto the chamber. And now Control slowly settling in. Luckily enough though, again with the veto pick, it seems to work. They're able to rotate themselves out, unfortunately not being able to pick one. So a bit of havoc here as we do wait along, but I'm seeing a lot of potential.
Yeah, that's for certain. Not a lot for this retake either, just the drone and the Paranoia.
Yeah, slow move forward too. Okay. Already working the way. But Echo is going to be able to hold this. And this is good. They have so much. They're trying to lure in this peek coming through from Heartless. But Heartless makes that connection. And already with some sort of shock dart, it doesn't matter. Moves kind of left alone with Recoil to do majority of the work. And the defuse there!
No!
And a spray transfer that allows Blue to get their first round.
That was huge coming out from Heartless. You gotta give Winthrop credit for the work they were able to put in with that bonus round though, but Winthrop are definitely gonna be kicking themselves for losing in that post plant, in that 1v2. I feel like you just have to be aware of the fact that Heartless likely isn't gonna go for this stick there, but a little bit rushed to try and get that trade with a very awkward plant spot that was initiated there as well. Man, that's definitely tough looks because it's so hard for Moves and Recoil to really try to actually fight together in that situation when someone's jumping across danger, the other one trying to swing from close. But now Ome walked up towards mid. Presence definitely already shown over at Cat, but will he be ready for Moves bottom walking up?
Oh my gosh, yeah, the timing is crazy. And I'm sure like there was some sort of prediction there because Moves has been taking a lot of control over on mid. But I like this. Blue are just responding.
Yeah, really nice answers right now. Got the judge up close. Will anyone be able to break that recon drone? It will go down. So they don't know about Zostel.
No, but a shotgun sitting inside of smoke for Zostel to take at least one. And with Fair gone, that leaves only one more duelist up for the taking here to try to gain control of the site. But it's almost impossible at this point. 3 players of Blue just residing here on the A site with no information whatsoever from Winthrop other than Moves. I mean, potentially being able to make a pick here.
It's going to be tough. Look at how far back Ome's playing into heaven as well, all the way into A-Link. It's going to be really hard for him to work a pick here, especially with 30 seconds now on the clock. Information garnered.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Great TP from Solstol. And now they just gotta kind of act on that, right? Make sure that this choke point is held. Solstol with the shotgun they were not aware of. And I don't know, I'm really liking the adaptations we're seeing, right? Control down in mid, making sure moves has been cornered and just so much information off everything.
And I think at this point too, Gompers, you've got to consider the fact that for the side of Winthrop University, they need to have a read on the defense right now. I feel like it's been essentially telegraphed for the last several rounds that they are playing these heavy stacks on one side of the map and allowing Bob to essentially mainly just play solo anchor on the other side, wherever the stack isn't. So far, for the last 2 rounds with the buys coming in, it has been over towards B. You have a quick rotation potential from Ome when he goes for that information seeking into mid there as well. And it looks like they are going to try and poke and prod back over at Bob's site here at B again.
So chokehold destroyed, and I thought they were gonna kind of push for something else, but it seems like the distraction a bit too heavy. Winthrop pushing with pressure, like you said. So just continuing on that aggression and that complete push through onto site. But yeah, I mean, all there is to show for it is drone not even gathering much.
Like this close angle that Fair is going to be able to have without Bucky too, the one to open up the round.
Yeah, and Fair's just waiting. They know Fair is there. Oh, and the timing is awful. I feel like at that moment, you should have just held. Like, the util's not going to do much, but you know, in these circumstances, still trying to fight this off. Winthrop University with only 2 players left in the win condition there. But Solstol trying to pull a transfer that Heartless had pulled before. And is it possible? No! It is gonna be strong, tall guy. Being a strong, tall guy.
Yeah, down to 10 HP there. Definitely a huge round for Winthrop to be able to win on that Thrifty. And again, I think now it's going to be about just trying to continuously figure out which side of the map Bob is going to be playing on. And again, it has consistently been over towards B. It's been difficult for her to get some of those teleports out as well. I like the adjustment with the TP that we're seeing from her veto right now. It makes it a little bit more intuitive because it can be really awkward when you are playing up close on ramp to try and TP back over into heaven instead. She's actually going to look for a walk down here. Blue are getting active.
Yeah, this time pushing up mid pretty aggressively, which, I mean, to my surprise, it seems to work out, right? Ome able to secure at least 2 here. Yeah, and Blue Otters, they've pretty much just solidified themselves around. Unless something crazy comes through with Echo, I mean, having the ultimate along with Fair, only needing 1 in this very moment to get theirs. Yeah, doesn't seem like that's going to happen.
Hey, that's a pretty solid trade that you're going to look for there at the very least, but with the spray through the smoke, there just really isn't anything Echo can do. And that whole round has to be given credit over to Ome for that. Like that walk down, peeking through that top cat smoke as well, taking the time to get 2 before being able to TP out up against Winthrop is absolutely massive, especially when you saw how Winthrop were holding back. They're anticipating some of that aggression, but a lot more focused on, I think, a lot of the noise that was being made over onto the library side of mid instead. Now, moving back over to that A site here for Winthrop, they do have those eco weapons, so it does make sense that they want to take some of these closer quarter fights. And again, the duelists are going to look to get a little bit more active here on the side of Blue Otter. I like this scouting to start things off.
Beautiful. 299 follows up with it, and Hunter's Fury to actually just make sure that there is a lot going on to where Winthrop cannot respond appropriately. And they're just solidifying round after round, and I like this. Honestly, Ash, I think I'm seeing a lot more proactivity from Blue Otters than we got to see, you know, beginning off in stage 1.
Yeah, I really like that set play that was being called by Zostil there. Just being able to have that kind of trap play alongside the dimensional drift, because you're either ripping that Hunter's Fury and allowing 399 to get those kills, and if nobody's there, then you know that you can take that fast rotation over to the other side of the map. And now it's about Winthrop University looking to dig a little deeper. They've only gotten 1 round so far since weaponry has fully come out. These buys have been off as well. They're going to be on another half eco after the last one too. Things aren't looking great.
Ooh, and already a missed shot. This opens things up a little bit, as minuscule as that was. At least with 1 shot from Echo. they could redeem a Vandal that's just sitting on the other side, but they can't seem to make it work. Now with drone coming out, now a pop flash to make sure that Moves is no longer able to get more space. This might just be over for Winthrop. I mean, 299, waiting very patiently. I don't know how exactly this is going to work out. There's at least one fake that we could see. You know, some trolling strong tall guy could pull for with some of their util, but not necessarily going to do absolutely much, especially now with this flank coming through from Blue.
Yeah, they're doing such a good job at stalling out this H point right now. It should just be an easy cleanup from the rest of Blue Otter with that flank that you said is coming in.
Is for other people.
And it'll be just that. Timeout now to be called here on the side of Winthrop. A little bit of a discussion to see what's been working, what hasn't. I think Blue Otter, they are very aware of moves going for a lot of these lurk plays as well, trying to cut off rotates and whatnot. And that's why you see them also getting a little bit more proactive across the map there too. Overall, on the side of Winthrop though, this round is really important for them. It's an opportunity to start closing this gap once again, especially with the fact that you do have the convergent paths available here for Fair. There still is that cosmic divide that's we've been holding on to for a couple of rounds here on the side of Echo as well. It's a curious question of like whether we're going to see, you know, an initial set play come out. I do want to see, I think, a little bit more of a light default coming in on the side of Winthrop University. It does get a little bit more complicated though now that 399 does have that operator online as well, because you can't just be contacting up everywhere. You don't want to be walking into that scope.
Yeah, but I like that idea, right? Taking the time to kind of pick these players off one by one with some sort of default, because it has seemed like we've seen like iterations of them just pushing site, not playing off information, especially with Blue, like pushing out a little bit more, being more aggressive on the defense. So I'm quite curious how exactly this is going to be able to play out. Especially now with, May pushing forward once more. So, yeah, they've backed themselves off. Some sort of timing that could come through from this. I mean, 399, like you said, absolute unit with the operator. And is actually able to just take away from these mistakes that Winthrop are making. Yes, they're able to take them down, but that's at least one in the hands of 399.
Now the rotation's coming in here for the side of Blue Otter. Heartless is also super low on top of this as well. Winthrop, it's up to them for how they're going to look to play that post plant. You got a couple players looking to play off. Recoil does have the Hunter's Fury into the post. Opportunity to use the Gravity Well for that delay as well. And then I like how the other two players are trying to play on site. Actually, an early Hunter's Fury should be used for that zoning, not even allow them to try and retake this space early.
Yeah, damage not too significant though, so they're just gonna have to figure out a way to really work with what they have, and Omei is not letting them have any space whatsoever for Winthrop. So the positioning odd, but I like the smoke. It allows them to kind of play these angles. It allows them to be a little bit more aggressive and take these shots, but Echo stronger, and with the 1v2 is able to take them out, but it doesn't matter. The timing is not Blue's.
Just enough time stalled out, down to 0.1 seconds there, right by the skin of their teeth there for Winthrop. A very important round for them to win, to bring them one away from tying things up in this first half. But again, that was also a very costly round. On top of that, Winthrop, their economy hasn't been all that great for the last couple of rounds now. They lost all of their weapons, the investment of those guns there too. And with those last two picks, that also brings Omei one away from getting that dimensional drift online, which is definitely going to be huge for these last couple of rounds of the half.
Yeah, 12-4 as well. Already 10 rounds in for Omei. I mean, you can see how much significance they're having into this game, especially with their, not even entries, but they're being so aggressive that it almost feels as though we're seeing the attacking side on the defense here for Blue Otters. And I'm just really liking the way they're playing this, especially now, right? Bob having so much util standing in this choke point right here.
See if Moves is going to be able to break this trip. Just put that additional pressure interceptor down here as well, despite the evolution being online. They are going to show their hand, though. They know that more than just Moves is he's not just lurking on this site, right? With the Sova showing this presence.
Oh, and timing of the smoke. I think just waiting a bit too long, especially with the info that they had originally, but that's okay. I mean, 3 players still standing on the side of blue, tons and tons of util to utilize here, and now Heartless with an opening. So Moobs is gone, a player that has been very, very difficult to get past.
He definitely has been. Now, that retake with the operator getting a little bit more awkward here too, and they know that Echo's in the window. The jump up from Zostal is going to be perfect, and it's all up to Fair.
Oh, headshots too, and just another one that is needed, but they're able to get themselves away from that position. Fair fighting it. And all in all, I mean, a very impressive showing from Winthrop, despite the way the round is going to end. Because I do believe, I mean, they tried their best. It's just so hard when Blue is playing this so, I mean, just analytically and thinking about every single movement.
Yeah, that is for certain. I think just now in the last couple of rounds, needing to be a bit more cognizant of what gaps are on this map here as well, especially with the fact that we have an early trip over towards A main. That means that on these hard B hits, you don't have that information over at Bend, even though, Moobs goes down before that pick does come through anyways, but it's just the minor things when it does come to that awareness. Now, back to a 4-1 split here, something that we saw very early on in this half. Bob's gonna have the operator on, no, actually, outlocked, my bad, online. And the utility is just gonna do all the work. You gotta break that stuff early.
They've figured out Veto. I do like the Veto showcase we're seeing here. It's just shuts down Winthrop so vigorously. Especially, I mean, you're playing with Sheriff, so there isn't much you can kind of show for it, but it's been time and time again, right? Like, we've seen Veto completely annihilate every single piece of util that Winthrop has tried to kind of push onto site. So it's going to be quite difficult now, especially with Moobs being alone to win this round. Yep, and that being said, 7-4 for Blue. So they have been winning round after round, and Winthrop are statistically a lot better on their attacking half.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a bit tough, I think. Overall, though, they do have a really good composition for some of those fast flood retakes once we get to the defense, but focusing in on this 12th round before we swap sides. Double op online now here for 399 and Bob. Bob going to be holding it on the forward over at B. 399 going for the mid peak instead. Just, again, a bit of that counter to how Moobs has been trying to lurk out every single round nearly. Good TP out to get out of the nick of time.
I was scared right there because 399 is watching with like murderous intent. So to get out of mid is quite strong, but I do think Moobs is still kind of watching within that angle. It's just so repetitive, Ash.
Yeah, it is. Looks like they're going to actually cut noise and look to re-hit A. I thought it was going to be the rotation over towards that B site.
Yeah.
Owl drone to go out over in main. So they have the information that the stack is leaning there.
They've lost a strong one. They have no more control over mid. And actually not, I guess now they have a lot of information kind of residing within what's going on down towards backside. So Blue Otter trying to regain their composure, just allowing them to take the space here for Winthrop. They know that the retakes are stronger, but Fair is just slowly annihilating everybody on the opposing side, with Heartless trying to redeem themselves. Unfortunately, it's not going to work. So beautiful. Winthrop are just playing this with Fair being just that mainstay player.
Ooh. I don't know if they're aware Fair is still there after the refract gets shown as well. But the awareness from 399. The shorty, a bit bold, that's for certain. But Bob in a 1v3. She doesn't have any utility to work with into this retake. This needs to be a clean one for Winthrop, and it's going to be Recoil going to put the nail in the coffin here. A 7-5 half for Blue Otter with a 2-round lead Gompers, but Winthrop, they managed to get a couple of these rounds, breaking up some of that momentum from Blue Otter, finding the rounds here and there, and that pistol and the anti-eco to start off that half was just so important to even get them here in the first place.
Yeah, no, I mean, for Winthrop too, just a lot of struggle with trying to get past Blue on the defense alone and get past those choke points. And once they were able to, yes, there were a lot of occasions where it did seem to seemingly work out, but there were also a lot of occasions where Blue was able to get that defusal. And I don't know. I feel like the aggression that we saw on the defense is going to be really dangerous here, especially now that we're hitting the attacking side. Omei has shown great comfort playing on this Yoru. And I mean, now with this push over towards B, tons of information coming through with drone, now noises left and right. I mean, it might just be Winthrop University that are able to take it. Already 3 players down and win condition theirs, but they're fighting back here for blue, and it's up to Bob and Heartless to kind of do what they can. I mean, in this very moment, though, unfortunately enough, Spike is down.
Yeah, this is not impossible for Bob. I mean, how are you going to break up this triple holds here? You got a high-low, trying to check out towards ramp. 3 players holding you now as well. Just gonna go reposition for another angle, see if she can isolate one, but again, it's just really tough here. Should not be around that Bob's able to win.
Yeah, now the up-downs being held, and Winthrop is playing off contact, so huge round win. And I mean, again, they know the stakes, right? Super high. So you can see they're doing everything in their power to adapt to the information they're receiving here from Blue.
And they look so much more comfortable on these pistol rounds than some of these gun rounds as well. Being able to pick up that second one, again, I think just so important here for Winthrop, especially when you're down a couple of rounds, trying to tie things up a little earlier on into that second half and potentially even take the lead there as well. That was massive coming out from Echo, being able to hold his own and anchor inside that sight smoke. Now Blue Otter, again, leaning back over towards this B site. Bear's gonna have Marshall online for the angle on the smoke.
Be right back.
Ooh. An accidental hit, but a hit at that. Now Echo just spraying down through the smoke. Yeah, the smoke is the biggest op of this game, unfortunately, for both of these sides, but Echo can't fight it off. So they have actually lost out on a lot of the smoke use they can use, to try to get themselves back onto site. But with 4 players left here for Winthrop, they have such a good opportunity to just close this out as quickly as possible.
Just trying to do a little bit of damage here as well. Even if they can't win that round out, taking as many weapons out of the hands of Winthrop would be huge here.
Yeah, Diffusal's already coming through, and Recoil's just going to close things off. And a team ace that leaves Winthrop University with this pistol round 1. And that's huge, right? Like, they needed that sort of a momentum to keep themselves going.
And now I think heading into this next round, we saw how close that bonus got for Winthrop in that first half, Gompers. There's definitely potential for this team to be able to bring it back. It was just a couple small mistakes and a great spray transfer coming in. Well, not even a spray transfer. It was a collat at the end of the day coming in for Heartless there in that previous half. But overall, I think it's a good start here on the side of Winthrop University. You know, there is that potential to maybe try to get that op online earlier on into this half for moves as well. I like the early A space that's being taken. Allows this very nice stack to come out here for the side of Winthrop towards B.
And Fair knows there's one top. They're trying to play this in a way where they can take out the majority of the players that are around them, but it's quite difficult. Blue Otters had control within the first 3 seconds. And now all they need to do is keep it, and that's, I mean, a game that they're willing to play. They're the best at making sure that they have everyone in good positioning, but Recoil is better with the aim. And up to this 1v2, but it's possible. We've seen the potential. And now the information comes through. They know Omei's hiding back. Don't exactly know where moves could be standing, but in this moment, now they do. So a beautiful shot, and I mean, great redemption for moves here.
And a massive bonus round to be coming in for Winthrop University as well. Blue now going to be forced onto an eco round into the next. Should, in theory, Gompers, and I say in theory because sometimes we do see some crazy thrifties coming through, should be a 10th round on the board for Winthrop heading into the next one. Or a 9th one. My bad. I cannot count. But overall, for the side of Blue Otter now to be calling their first time out into the second half, they got to discuss what's going wrong. And I think that from what we've seen so far, it's been a lot of those just like 5 4-man hits towards one side of the map. I think Winthrop are getting a lot of good early information, especially in that last round on the bonus there as well. And it's been difficult. I don't think that it's necessarily because of any mistakes that Blue Otter are making, Gomps. Like, I feel like Winthrop are just doing a really good job of being able to hold down these sites and react well to the utility that Blue Otter is putting out there. Like, I feel like they're like, I'm pretty sure Strong Tall Guy dodged almost every single flash that was going out on B site like that round, allowing him to, you know, continue to maintain a lot of that space, get a pick as well. And it's just that reactivity, I think, from Winthrop on defense that's panning out well for them.
I agree. And I really like how recoil, it's so small and dumb, but recoil staying alive so late in the game allows them to also have that dart that they've saved up for moments like these, right? To try to regain entry back onto site. And I think it's been working out fairly well because it kind of allowed recoil and moves to play together to sandwich in, you know, in those moments against Omei. So I like it. I think, like you said, they're trying to play less stagnant and more so proactive, and it obviously seems to be working out.
I like this call from Blue Otter, though, to head over towards the A site where they know Moves is mainly playing that kind of solo anchor.
Yeah, and already getting onto site. Recoil shots 2 of the duelists down within seconds. Of course, smokes are down, but there's nothing that Blue Otters can do rather than try to play these close games. Heartless with the Stinger isn't able to attend too much. And now it's up to Bob, right, to get potentially a weapon out of the hands of Winthrop University so that Heartless can play more proactively.
Yeah, 2v3, Winthrop are being really patient right now.
Yeah, with a headshot that isn't able to connect, and unfortunately so, Winthrop University now making their way onto site with barely any util. So it's beautiful. They just play well together, and they've been kind of sticking to the partnership of, okay, you know, let's do 2 people peeking so, you know, we can take this 2v1. So I think Winthrop are just a lot more connected in that sense.
Definitely nice adjustments. And I think the desk was highlighting, you know, the difference between Heartless and Recoil earlier on, like during the pre-show, right? How Heartless is one of those initiator players that can absolutely pop off. And I think that for Recoil, the other thing too is we've seen him take a lot of risks on this map and then also in previous series. I think like in that matchup against Rose, he went like 1-8 for those first blood, first deaths. And that's not me trying to like dog on him or anything, but it's sometimes some of those moments where it's like you live by Recoil or you die by him. And he's been able to get those picks that you were talking about, surviving a little bit later into that mid round, into the late round. That has also been so important when he is that singular initiator now on Abyss. And those picks being able to work out for him too, I think just makes all of the difference, because he does go for some of those hero plays during some of these moments, which is I think something that we do see, some of that individualism that you talked about previously, Gompers, from the Winthrop side.
Less of that now that Drone has been able to take away some sort of positioning here, but Blue Otters actually allowing Bob to play down in mid. So beautifully said and beautifully played. So Bob is able to take out Recoil, and now they act on it. So this is good. Information comes through. They know they have mid, and they can actually shut down the rotation as it seems. And I mean, with Strong Tall Guy slowly approaching the site, they are waiting for this rotation.
Dart over towards tower as well, gonna signal that nobody's playing super close into heaven at the moment. And again, you still have Bob waiting for that late flank, trying to cut off those rotations. Probably gonna just back over into main, play it safe.
Oh wow. Okay, well, Heartless. I mean, Heartless has been the one shutting things down pretty frequently with 2Ks and 3Ks, so not too much of a surprise. But yeah, all in all, Blue Otters finally putting themselves back on the board.
Yeah, and so much of their retake, I think, again, Recoil going down first here makes it so difficult. We talk about how important that Sova utility is into these fast flood opportunities. And then how Heartless has been able to just, you know, consistently frag out, playing a little bit more of that kind of supportive type of role. Right now, a lot of ultimates on the side of Winthrop University, though, that are available.
It has been quite popular between the two here. Soul Stolen Moobs consistently trying to fight over for control. There is a TP settled, so regardless of where Moobs could be, it could not end in the worst possible way. So, I mean, even then, Blue Otters, they kind of back themselves out. They're not going to commit to this.
No, they're waiting to see if Winthrop's going to give them anything as well. Instead, it's going to be that pivot over towards the B site. But again, look at the way that they're playing this. Echo's completely off of site here. Instead, it's a pump back over towards A, actually. Blue Otter shifting into that stack. The information will be found by that Omen from the shadows there as well. And that's going to be the green light to TP back over towards B, where Winthrop are set up for that fast flood retake.
Yeah, we're seeing something so different. They fake over for A. And now they're just pushing in towards B. So it's not that flood that we've seen so many times. And it seemingly works. Now the retake is going to have to be played moves with the off. Oh no, unfortunately enough. Okay, 399 sitting up top does not get taken down. And tons of util to utilize. We still have the Astra ult. Fair is able to utilize their own. And I mean, it really does look like it's going to happen in favor for Winthrop if they can play the retake well enough, but being taken out so early on is not good, and they cannot find Obey sitting in the corner. And 399 there to respond, so 2 players left here for Winthrop, and a chance for them to just take this one through. The defusal not going to happen, and 399 is aware. And it's such a good position, right? We still do have tons of things to use here, but they're not going to care. They have the clutch in hand.
Really nicely played there by 399. Strong Tall Guy did not know he had the opportunity to actually stick half on the first tap, thinking that 399, I think, dashed back, not across danger, but just towards front side of B. Right down to the wire. And you were talking about that Cosmic Divide, unfortunately, was not able to be used in that last round either. Right now, a lot of these fights just getting so scrappy. There was also patience there. Like, Recoil was actually trying to wait for STG to catch up to them so they could fight that 2v1, but that bridge just being paper thin. Now Winthrop looking to get proactive over in mid.
Yeah, they're trying to smoke off some of these angles, but not doing too much work here. Actually, yeah, seemingly
such
works
good
out.
intuition, bro. Like the TP out at that exact moment.
Oh my. Okay. Well, at this point, it really is just peeking the angles and seeing if you can take one home. So, Ome winning in that regard. But not easy, right? You know where these players are. The only thing SCG can play with is a shotgun, and it's just kind of waiting for the impatience of Blue.
Yeah, and Blue are more than happy to hold. They know that Winthrop are looking to make some sort of play, especially on eco weapons, try to find a pick here or there, being so patient, waiting around the corner, waiting for some sort of aggression. Winthrop, though, good calls not to give it to them. They're just going to allow them to run down that clock, try to crunch them wherever they end up going. That will be a signal, though, from STG. They heard that gun get picked up and swapped
30
over.
seconds left.
And with 30 seconds left, and actually a lot to utilize here. They still have smokes coming through from Soulstol for entry. Heartless can still get them some sort of information. 399 is not able to really do much. Actually, no, the opposite exactly. So they are opening things up pretty well. They've kept control down in mid, and now it really is up to move. So 6 seconds left, and there isn't much time to place anything.
They won.
They've actually won this just because Echo was way too far back.
Not even just that, but Moves being able to get those picks on site there as well. Recoil even just falling back, buying so much time because Blue Otter didn't have any time to waste to try and clear that site. Moves just staying alive there makes all of the difference for running down that clock up against Blue Otter. Now, side of Blue Otter, they've only got the evolution there for Bob up. Otherwise, Ome might look to try and farm some orbs, see if a pick as well could get that dimensional drift online here. Winthrop, a great recipe for either early information or that retake there from Strong Tall Guy with the dimensional drift of his own into this round. Winthrop, they're more than happy to give up that mid space, going back towards this stack on the other opposite side from Moops. He's constantly taking one of these a little bit more aggressive angles.
Same mid take as last time. It worked very well for Blue, so I'm assuming they're just going for the same sort of vibe as before, taking out as many players. But unfortunately, nobody's peeking. Winthrop keeping their patience to just holding the site. And with Bob slowly making their way out, it gives Moves an incentive to stay on the B site.
Now shifting over towards A. Drone gets a bit of information on the high-low, which gets broken up.
I'll handle this.
With Heartless, 10 bullets left in peeking is wild thoughts, but Blue Otters, they're fairly confident in this. Still though, having that Cosmic Divide here from Echo, so despite anything, they do have so much to work with here for that retake, and they're actually trying to move themselves in as early as they can. So a fake throne, not gonna make too much of a distraction here, but Blue Otters, they don't know they're getting flanked. It's Moose sitting in the backhand side. This is so incredibly dangerous. They're not aware, but they can still fight for side. It doesn't matter.
Really nicely played there by Winthrop, just looking to buy enough time for Moobs to catch up on that play. And it was a really nice heads-up dimensional drift. You know, things were getting a little bit too quiet. They knew that mid was being explored there, wanted to get the information on if an A crunch was happening so that Fair could look to back off of sight, try to pick somebody off while they were flooding in, especially over in Heaven. And this round really opened up by that first blood up against Bob, because it changes the game plan for Blue Otter there, right? You have Bob lurking on the other side of the map. Meanwhile, the rest of the team explores over at mid and A. Then you kind of lose one of your avenues. You either full commit to a B hit where you're retaking that space, or you're going to lean into the information that you already have.
Once again, funneling themselves here. Just playing with the double duelist, something that, you know, they do well, executing themselves onto site and making sure they have it. So now this is where the biggest mistakes have been, right? Playing into this post plan, making sure that everything is going to, I mean, everybody's going to stay alive, but again, they still have that Cosmic Divide, and this is such a big issue right now. But Winthrop, they're losing it. They're letting them push into these extremities and take these players out. They didn't use any util to clear things, so it leaves Moob having to save.
I think things also get really awkward when you've got, you know, Ome with a flash, you have Zostal with a paranoia, and then you just have 399 who's going to double smoke, dash into your site no matter what. We've seen just so much more success from Winthrop on any round where Blue Otter are going to go for a full hit. Just get off of site. Try to play that retake with your team. Try to fast flood on after they've expended a lot of that utility just to get on. And if it's not that, some of the slower rounds there have been Winthrop, you know, trying to be a bit more patient, buying a bit of that time. For Blue Otter, though, I think the recipe to their success to be able to take this map home for them, their map pick at that is going to be, I think, a lot of those more high-octane plays, those set plays have definitely fared well for Blue Otter. I want to say that, for the most part, a lot of those rounds are the ones that they've been able to win, or if not, like they've gotten the plant down. Even though things get a bit like quite scrappy on some of those retakes, they're usually guaranteed the first blood on those fast hits.
Yeah, especially with I mean, confidence surging from 299 to kind of smoke and dash. And that always seems to get just enough space to where Blue Otters can execute confidently. So I completely agree. I think, you know, playing into this default hasn't been working out very well. Luckily enough, I mean, something out of character for Strong Tall Guy to go in mid and get taken out at the same time. So Bob is able to understand, okay, 2 players down in mid. We can get a potential pick here, but regardless of that, no, Winthrop University, they're actually just waiting and playing the patient game.
I think some sound baiting is being done there as well. Bob's still gonna hold steady for recoil.
Yeah, just sitting inside of smoke. There goes Echo. Playing within their own utility and still not using that Cosmic Divide, guys. I've been waiting forever, and it's not going to be executed on. Instead, they're gonna keep letting Blue take these rounds.
11-11. I like the idea with the mid push there from Winthrop, but Blue Otter, they play it really well. You have 2 bottom mid players. You have control of Ben the entire time. Winthrop just not ready for Bob to re-peek after those 2 players to have passed by. The spacing getting a little bit awkward there. And Bob is really the one who wins that round out for Blue Otter. Like, that mid pick made all of the difference for that round. Gave them that green light to speed up over towards that B site.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, just going for orb. So actually giving Fair an opportunity to play with their own util here, but recoil is following up, and I like this. They're playing together, making sure that they can execute off these 4v1s. So With that being said, already 2 players taken down. Win condition slowly
Oh my
over to
God.
Winthrop University, and the shots just keep connecting. So Spike is down, and some huge plays to give themselves an opportunity to win on their next round.
And again, I was saying it. You either live by recoil or you die by recoil. Like, he is so good at being, and I think it's because, you know, he's previously played that Sentinel. He's previously played that duelist, and that's why you see him being a bit more of that kind of aggressive initiator and constantly being that second person to peek off of the contact that Fair is making, that person to look for that trade, to keep going for more if he thinks he can pull it off. Being tucked behind that pillar too, just being able to dodge that flash was absolutely massive. Now, map point here for Winthrop University on Blue Otter's map pick. They pull out the timeout here too, Gompers, because they've got plenty of those ultimates to work with. And they know that with that dimensional drift, Ome is going to go for some sort of combo play with Heartless's Hunter Fury there as well. Winthrop want to be prepared for it with their own positioning.
Yeah, and with the combo plays we've seen before from Winthrop, like you said, with Recoil's Hunter's Fury has been so incredibly unfair. And I think with Fair being, I mean, just crazy with the entries here, I think it's going to be quite difficult, right? They can get a really good read off here on A, especially now that we do have 2 of those players set up, a Fair and Recoil over towards the A site. This could be a big end to the game. And the big question is, will we see a cosmic divide, ladies and gentlemen? I've been waiting, and I feel like there's been a lot of circumstances to use it and kind of solidify the rounds. But I think this is the round if not. So 13-11 potential, which is big for Winthrop.
It's definitely been tough for Echo to be able to get that ult online. To be fair, though, when he's anchoring over towards that B site playing in his smokes, he's been getting like at least 2, like every single time. Now, the Dimensional Drift is able to clear out the A site in full. Conversion Pass will be saved for a fast flood retake. More than happy to give this site up, knowing what they have to work with into that plant.
Oh, yeah, and they do it. The combo comes out. They're not able to get anything, though. It was a huge dash from 299 to slowly work themselves over towards the back of site, and they were able to take out Strong Tall Guy. So no fakes, no flashes to allow themselves on the site. A reiteration of the Hunter's Fury, but this time on the side of Heartless, and they have the spike down. They're playing the extremities. Everything is perfectly placed in the hands of Blue. If they lose this, it is due to their own mistakes. And I mean... fake, that doesn't necessarily work, but Ome is in such good position here. A slow peek from Recoil is all they need. They get the damage, so it doesn't necessarily matter. A 3v3 with Recoil being so incredibly lit.
Oh, Zostel's positioning right now.
Oh my gosh, and they don't do anything about it. They don't smoke. They don't shoot. And they're just waiting. The shock darts are connecting. Moves is getting the defusal. They think it's a fake, but it's a win from Winthrop.
13-11 here for Winthrop University on Blue Otter's map pick. We have talked about the potential for that tie 3-3 round robin situation to happen here for the relegated teams of VCL Stage 1. That 13-11 scoreline is very well known for the last couple of days, Gompers. And then as history has shown, it's been the 13-6. And for Winthrop University, picking up this first map is absolutely massive and necessary for them to have the best opportunity to keep themselves in challengers.
Necessary, but also, I mean, we're seeing a hint of Winthrop that we haven't seen in a very, very long time. Their adaptations were on point. It felt like every action just had purpose. And I don't know. I'm really liking what I'm seeing. I like the addition of, obviously, my apologies for some reason I'm blanking, of Echo. I think Echo has been playing a phenomenal Astra and allowing these teams to kind of weave and bob in on these smokes, make sure that they're feeling comfortable. So I like it, and I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm liking the changes, but we do have another map that is going to go underway. Maybe we'll see more come through from Winthrop University, and Ash doesn't have to defend herself anymore in the future. So I don't know. We'll be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere.
Wow, wow, wow. I actually don't even know what to say. I know we were joking about the 13-11, but I don't think it's a joke anymore.
Yeah, we were like halfway through that game, we were like, wait, this kind of tracks, this kind of lines up. And then you're like, okay, wait, they get a thrifty here against full rifles after they push out of A main. And then you're like, this might be a 13-11, just might be. And yeah, I just can't believe it. Is Bind going to be the 6 rounds, the 13-6? Like, that would be ridiculous. I mean, I don't want to put words into the atmosphere, into the universe, but it could happen.
It's too late. You just did. But anyway, just to remind everyone too, if the reason why we're freaking out about this 13-11 is because there is a chance of a 3-way tie should Winthrop win the rest of the series, win this next map, because every single team has won one game so far. And if it is 13-6 in the next map, which is going to be Bind, then it's going to be a 3-way tie, and we're going to have to go down to those BO1s and make sure we see who comes out on top. But back to the game for me, I think this was a really good showing from Winthrop. I was really happy to see how they were playing. We talked a lot about upping the tempo. Obviously, the big kind of caveat to that was the comp change. But also the way that they were playing their retakes was really phenomenal. I feel like I saw an identity that I didn't really get to see before, and they were just so confident making sure they're playing together, swinging together, and getting a lot of those trades.
Yeah, they felt way more confident on the defense for sure. Those retakes, like you said, were really nice, but also what they were doing really well on their attack side too. Some of the nice rounds was pushing up into Bob, taking care of her util, and then just slowing the pace down a little bit, or just kind of, again, kind of speeding up a little bit, but like removing Bob from the equation, or at least that util early on, having to basically run into a free site, force rotations. I thought it was great. And then also on their attack, on their defense, they were able to kill Bob going for these. Okay, apart from this clip, the only clip that proves me wrong there was that one. But my point was, they were picking up the players that were trying to lurk mid, that were trying to lurk B site as well. And then they were in a 4v5 and they looked way more comfortable than they did on attack.
I think another point, like important thing to point out is Winthrop did not drop their pistol rounds. They did not drop their pistol rounds, actually. They, and I think it's so important on this map to take those pistol rounds, because I feel like it kind of forces the momentum of which team is going to lean. And I think one of them, I think it was when they switched sides, they won not only their pistol rounds, but their bonus as well. And I know it says we had 0 thrifties here, but to go off what we did say, that where they pushed out of A main was, I think, the game changer round for them.
Yeah, and I think that started kind of a little bit of a momentum shift for Winthrop, because that's when we did see their defense side come to life. That was 3, if you look at the bottom, round 14, 15, and 16. 14 was the bonus round they won. They then won the next 2 rounds with that really good retake. They were so rich at the end of that too. They struggled a little bit, but they just kept bringing it back. It was like their bread and butter was in those retake situations. And of course, they were just doing really well overall, getting a lot of those trades, which I think was the biggest thing that I noticed, is just being able to get those trades. And like you said, Dawes, punish a lot of that mid control. They didn't really care about giving up mid. They were just playing the retake A, making sure that moves can kind of get one and fall off the site and just play that retake. But both these teams played phenomenally. I think this is a match that we kind of fully understood to be the way it was, because this is that relegation game.
Yeah, recoil as well was kind of popping, to be honest. Like, a lot of the times there was a couple of was it 2 4Ks that recoil got? It was at least one. There were some nice clips that recoil was picking up. And like, to have your sober player doing that, not like your Waylay or like your Yoru, like, you're feeling super good. And at the end of the day, going up against Blue Otter, I thought coming into this was it's going to be tough for Winthrop to kind of keep up with how Blue Otter want to play, but they were playing a lot quicker than I kind of expected. You want to do that with the Waylay and Yoru, but with recoil being the backbone for the team, just enabling both those agents, and then also coming out on top as the MVP of that series, that map, sorry. I mean, that's just something special.
I feel like, too, the best thing that I saw about both these players was Fair on that attack side was doing a really good job as Waylay, getting into the site, pushing past the choke points, obviously using that double dash to set the rest of the team up. And then when you flipped over to the defense side, that's kind of where we saw recoil shine. Like you said, a lot of the util, a lot of the Sova ults, making a lot of those small little plays to make sure that they get the map advantage has just been really good. good. And I think both these players have done such a good job, obviously, at setting each other up, because Recoil with that Sova, using his drone, using his dart to make sure that Fair has a really good chance of fighting on site has been really sick. And then same vice versa. We're getting a lot of that aggression because they were playing heavy on that B site, playing 3, trying to take those mid fights and just allowing so much presence around the map overall.
Man, that little clip there as well, the 2-tap.
that was gross.
And this is the push out that you were talking about a minute ago, Mia. Pushing way outside of A main, just completely flipping up the tempo was just clean. And it did feel like that was the decider. It was like, okay, actually, I think the tempo's in their favor. They're playing their game. Blue Otter are trying to catch up, and it just felt all over from here. Rico is just on another level with some of these shots right now, and I'd be scared if I was going into bind. And as well, some of the ultimates and the util dumpage in a couple of the round from Blue Otter felt a bit off. It was like, okay, we're throwing like 3 ults into some of these like A main fights. It feels like an overcommittal, and then they're not winning it like super decisive. It's like, okay, we actually just lost 2 players and we dumped 3 ults. We want to then snowball this in the later rounds. Our econ's hurting a little bit. So that's something I want to see shored up from Blue Otter. Same could be said, I think, from Winthrop too. The Sovas have been great, but the ults, the Hunter's Furies, have just not really hit their mark.
Yeah, I think another thing that we should point out is, Recoil did get, so many of those picks, but his team really helped set that up for him. Like, you have that Waylay where maybe Waylay did not, dash in and get that kill, but it was a great distraction. And I think that's what's so beautiful about this util and about these teleports. I was saying how every single agent had a teleport on that team. Yeah. It just distracts like their attention away. But we do have the picks and the bans. We see what we do, bind is next. We already talked about the bans. I don't know why I'm going crazy right now.
It's okay,
it was pretty crazy last game, to be fair.
Mia, we got teleporters on Vine too, so you're gonna have teleporting agents and teleporters on Vine. But I really think that's crazy, and it's something to think about, is that Abyss was picked by Blue. Again, they have so much video on them because they have been playing on these Fun Haver tournaments that it makes me wonder if Winthrop did a lot of homework to kind of understand how Blue tends to play around the map. However, when you switch over to Bind now, where Winthrop, they've shown they can play that double duelist meta. They've shown that they can up the tempo. And they don't have that much video on them. There's not that much tape on them playing on this Bind for both teams. So I really wonder if they've kind of hunkered down and got a really sick playbook to kind of go by, or if they're just trying to play it by ear and get a lot of those frags, just play really upfront and personal. And I think it's going to be super interesting to watch.
Yeah, I
they
think
got a decent win rate on Bind as well. Sorry, 55% win rate on Bind. I mean, they're kind of chill. Their defense a little bit weaker at around 46%. Attack side win rate is like 55. I think with going into Bind and now knowing how fast that they want to play, or Blue Order want to play, I think they're more than well suited here. I don't want to call out the 6-rounder, but very well possible as we see the agents scrub up now.
And we see both double duelists on both sides, and which I think is very important for a map like Bind, because to attack, you really need to use your full force to get through these chokes, especially to jump out of hookah, to, go through short on A main. I think, again, it's just so important to have that dive.
Yeah, I think what I'm really liking here from Blue Otter is the double controller no senti. I think this works out for them because Bob, they've been really good on this Viper wall, making a lot of kind of plays, lurk plays, using their wall for their own advantage. Whereas for Winthrop, they have moves on the chamber, which we've seen obviously has been doing a really good job, but he does have to kind of counter a lot of that Viper utility and that Viper wall to make sure that no one is kind of lurking. And I think it kind of goes hand in hand. I think both these teams, they know how to play against each other since they are both very meta. But for me, I'm really liking Blue Otter. I really like the Raze too. I just want to see and make sure that Heartless is sending enough utility for the Raze to kind of be enabled, for Ome to kind of follow up behind, make sure using that Yoru TP to just be annoying as hell as we saw in Abyss, and just playing with a lot of confidence. I think both these comps make a lot of sense. And I think Fair sticking on Waylay is definitely the right call as well.
Yeah, that's what I was going to pick up on. Fair being on the Waylay, like you're able to crunch short like so quickly on your attack side. So again, just like dog up, make sure Waylay gets some space, boom, hit saturate, hit a shorty shot, and then you're in already. Like it's a little bit harder on Abyss. There's a lot more kind of ground to kind of cover with the Waylay, but here it's kind of very well suited for how they want to, if they want to go super quickly. On the flip side of things, with Blue Otter, like you said, no Senti, they are doing double controller, and Bob very much used to playing something like a chamber on this. They went to what, 14? It was like 14 and 12 versus Shopify Rebellion Black. An insane OT round. Shopify Rebellion obviously ended up winning it out there, but Blue Otter, they're very familiar with this comp, very familiar with this map going deep into the rounds.
So let's keep in mind before we go in, 13-6 is what Winthrop can get.
Call it out again.
If they get that, it will be a triple way tie, and we're all going into a boxing match. No, we're doing a best of one. Anyway, we have time. We're going to Gompers and Ash, map 2, Bind.
Thank you guys so much. Yeah, 13-6, Ash. And I don't know. maybe they'll 12-0 and then lose 6 rounds. Who knows? To keep themselves in the game. I don't know. But I'm liking the composition. We've seen a lot of changes from Winthrop. A slight change from Blue Otter, right, with Sky coming in instead of the Fade that they've played previously. But for me, like making such a drastic change, Ash, is pretty cool to see. I think they're planning to continue their stride of being adaptable.
Yeah, I think what's going to be interesting here is something that we didn't even really get a touch on, I think, during the pre-show or even during the last cast was Winthrop University. We haven't seen them since the Swiss stage of Split 1. So any composition that's being pulled out recently is something that has been untested within an official and away from Blue Otter's eyes, right? You can't really prep against that, especially with the fact that we're not seeing, maps that we saw earlier this week for either of these teams. And then for Blue Otter, they've been running this comp they've run it 3 times now. In Gompers, hilariously, one of those times in one of the Mr. Funhaver tournaments was up against the Pug Winthrop team. Granted, there was only STG and Fair playing, and they were on very different roles there as well. Fair was on a Brimstone in that matchup, but that team actually managed to take down Blue Otter, and with Strong Tall Guy being the one who's calling now for Winthrop University, even though it's a different composition he's playing in, he does have an understanding of how Blue Otter likes to play this map due to a recent official.
And that's brilliant. I love that point of Strong Tall Guy, being able to understand Blue. So now calling the shots and having a decent understanding. Wow, what a crazy play of pushing themselves. I loved that. Like, realistically, that was intense and insane. They knew someone would be sitting heaven. They've smoked it off. And I mean, what you say must be true, right? They're playing up towards heaven, trying to take out Fair. Fair is stronger, though. And no matter what you try to do against Winthrop University, they will prevail. So now their defense looking 10 times stronger than before, and a round win with a crazy play. Okay, Strong Tall Guy, I see what you're packing.
Okay, that's the 3rd pistol round now for Winthrop for them to be able to take out in this best of 3 series so far on our 2nd map. And now for Fair, I like the call from Blue Otter. They realize nobody is home here on this A site, aware of the fact that there's probably a flank coming in from B short, and they go and push into spawn, but they're not prepared for Fair to get a 3K there. Like, how do you let that Waylake player get away with that? Such nice shots coming out from Fair for a 4K to open up this game here for Winthrop University. Great momentum starter here for the 2nd round on Winthrop's map pick.
And they could just run. I don't know. Honestly, the what we saw come through shot-wise from Winthrop University is absolutely insane. The fact that they're able to run away with this pistol round. Now looking for the 2nd, they have the weapons to do so. They have their positioning set in stone. I mean, Echo is just going to play inside of these smokes and actually set one of their own to try to distract these players, but it works out. And, again, I want to reiterate, 13-6 is what Winthrop University needs to be able to continue on and kind of tie things up. So I do feel like they're just really trying to push that sort of narrative and get as many rounds as they can here on the defense.
A very decisive anti-eco coming in there as well. I think that we see, the big differences between having that Fade pick versus the Sky. And for Winthrop University, they knew what they were expecting from the composition from Blue Otter, right? The double controller. And I think having that scan on that Fade just does so much when you have STG already on that flash player for that Yoru to be able to get through a lot of these smokes. And we're seeing a lot of that utility as well as the positioning
come to fruition in favor of Winthrop. Now for Blue Otter, though, I think a lot of the success that we've seen from them previously on Bind, and the desk was talking about how good Bob is on a lot of these lurk positions. It's not going to be the case this time. And for 399 to go down early like that, that's a dive player out of the equation now for Blue Otter, making it a lot harder to break into those sites. And especially on their anti-eco versus Winthrop's bonus, you don't want a rifle going down that early.
Here.
Not focusing too much on U-Haul this time around, instead actually just waiting for some sort of impatience from Winthrop University. But they're doing good. They're keeping themselves strong. They've actually not wasted too much util here so early on. They're actually going to get information just based off this alone.
I like that trip positioning from moves as well, right? Into front U-Haul, knowing that they're trying to counter any of those toxic screen walk-up plays from the side of Blue Otter with Bob's utility.
And the smokes always come out at perfect timing for Heartless to peek outside of showers. Moves, though, does have TP still placed, so regardless, they can wide swing this without being punished too heavily, but they will. Bob catches them off guard with an off angle, and that leaves moves out of the count. So a very, very equal amount of players left on both sides. Now, I mean, the recoil kind of just completely shut my mouth at that one, but a big back and forth, tons of damage being extended, but down on both sides. And, I mean, with that being said, a 2v3 with player advantage leading over towards Winthrop in a matter of seconds. So incredibly scattered and so many 1v1s being taken here.
The second bonus round for Winthrop University to be able to win too. They won the one. Oh my God. Okay, tongue twister there. They won that bonus in the second half of Abyss to be able to help them take that first map home. Now starting things off with a 3-0 is huge. I think Bob did a lot of work trying to recover this round here for the side of Blue Otter. Again, she has been such an instrumental part of the success that they do find on Bind. But 3 players that have yet to find any picks, 2 of them being the duelists here for Blue Otter, is definitely a tough look when the first bloods have been consistently going Winthrop's way.
They've put a little bit of money into this round.
Spike down A.
With their stingers, not going to work out as planned. I mean, he's able to get 2. So all in all, is it really in vain? Yes, the spike is down. So recoil has the angle, has the spike, has tons and tons of information, utility. Now, unfortunate timing there for Zolstol. Bob left alone to really just try to fight things off, but it's not going to work out in their favor. So Winthrop University taking that 4-0 in stride. And again, just trying to get as many rounds as possible here.
And now that weapons are back in the hands of Blue Otter, I want to see them just being a bit more ready for a lot of the proactivity we're seeing out from Winthrop University. They're engaging in a lot of the extremity control, depending on which way they want to swing it. Just knowing that they're trying to deny Blue Otter from these slow plays, trying to control the tempo a little bit more on the side of Winthrop University, not allowing them to get those like inserts, some of those lurk picks, and just again, trying to like really mess up the game plan here for Blue Otter so they can't play as comfortably.
They've almost made them incredibly submissive for Blue. Kind of making them fear what they have to offer now, especially with moves taking like a huge play off of the submissiveness coming through from Winthrop. I mean, apologies, Blue Otters, and turning it into their own game. And now with recoil hiding on an off angle, it doesn't work out. So this is good. So much util here that Blue Otters can utilize, especially coming through from Heartless, but the entry is theirs, and a huge back and forth. And nobody knows how this is going to end, right? Viper's pick goes down, and it gives them at least some chance, but they're trying to rush it to make sure it is not as powerful as they wanted it to be. This is such a heavy play coming through from Winthrop, and they may have just taken it. So 5-0 alone. The timing was impeccable, Ash.
An incredible fast flood coming out from Winthrop University. Again, they've been so good at stepping on the gas in this series. Just when, the desk was constantly talking about how they were looking stagnant in the first match that we saw from them up against Rose earlier this week. A total shift in mentality here from Winthrop. And again, a good read, I think, on how Blue Otter has been playing. And for Recoil too, he's had so much value, Gompers, from the haunt that we see getting thrown out, constantly lighting up the side of Blue Otter, finding tags on at least 2 of those players, allowing some of those picks through smoke. And if not, then just stalling that time for the rest of Winthrop to get that rotation. It's no surprise that we see the first timeout being called by Blue Otter now. But the question is, what is going to be that game plan? You talked about how they looked a little bit too respectful in some of these moments where they're happy to give some of that space up to Winthrop. But at the same time, it's a little bit about that push and pull, right? Because they do need to wait for some of the aggression that we're seeing from Winthrop with how they've been disrespecting a lot of the extremities, going for those earlier picks. But then when they're actually playing a little bit more passive, I feel like Winthrop are answering really well with passivity of their own, not looking to play into Blue's hand.
And that's the hard part, right? Because how are you also going to expect, you know, the first person to peek the angle to be moves with an off? So it really is like a game. I wouldn't even say a game of luck, just a strategy. I'm not quite sure. It's hard too because Recoil has been really good at adapting, like you said, using, you know, their own pieces of util to try to get late information and actually waiting and having that timing. But this is unfortunate. You have the up. I thought they weren't going to be able to hit it, but moves is better.
And since he's been off the role of calling, just being able to do his own thing on this chamber pick, he's looked so much more comfortable being able to focus on his own micro plays, opening up these rounds so consistently here for Winthrop with the first blood.
Time to jump.
Pop flash goes forward. Okay, Blue. Once again, hitting with a level of aggression, but Move shuts it down with the off. Now there is a slight progression, but it just can't get past it.
They're stuck on site now, too. It's going to be so awkward to try and isolate some sort of 1v1 here for Blue Otter, or a 2v1, whatever it may be, to get that pick.
And they know Moves has the off, so I would not peek the angle personally, but they keep on doing it. And I mean, I guess the ace is fitting for the occasion, but yeah, I guess chamber moves is the meta. Just in every team, just have moves. I don't know.
On every team, just have moves. Every team, just sign them. Just pick them up. I think he's a little too busy for that. He's gonna get busier. He's finishing up school right now, but no, he's killing it right now. I think the op angles that he's able to find, again, a lot of these re-peaks looking to just disrespect the space that Blue Otter is taking. It's making it so hard for them to find these openings because his timing on those peaks have been so good. Just like the understanding of those micro moments, getting the timing on that boom bot, not getting scanned by it, peeking through that smoke at the last second instead of starting off by holding that angle or re-peeking it if that space was initially taken. Is just so well done because they know that Blue Otter have to expend utility to clear him.
Oh, wow, 2 pieces of util just to back Moves out. That is crazy. And they know the power that this player has, but they've gone in. Now the confidence is there, but you can't have too much. Winthrop University themselves are monsters at taking everybody out, and potential for a second ace is there.
Yeah, Fair's looking for it right now. They know where Zostal is as well. He's just going to try and run. He can't hear anything at the moment either. Able to hear now.
Oh my goodness. No! Come on. This is it. Okay, maybe not the ace. That was really, really bad to watch, but I think redemption was there with the 4K all in all. So the round win for 7-0, by the way, from Winthrop is crazy here.
Yeah, things got a little bit funky there, but that was such good bait from Moves as well, because for the most part, he's been playing a lot of that like solo aggression. Maybe somebody playing a little bit close, try to break a bit of that utility like afterwards or something like that. But for the most part, a lot of those first peaks have been those solo engagements. To be able to take down that utility, I think that was a great game plan from Winthrop University to bait for Fair in Octagon. They weren't expecting somebody to play close because they heard that TP come out. A tech pause to come in though. Once we find out what's going on, we'll be sure to tell you guys at home. But Gompers, it feels so hard for Blue Otter to get any momentum going right now because Winthrop sees it like the second those barriers drop within the first 15 seconds of the round. It feels like they're getting at least 1 or 2 picks that shifts the entire round into their favor.
And it shouldn't be that way either. It's quite surprising that we're kind of seeing like these 4Ks be so prevalent. And but I guess, you know, they come off that first win. They haven't tasted a win in a while either, map-wise. So I guess that's really just carrying on with the momentum. Also, the changes that we've seen composition-wise, I feel like they're just feeling a lot more comfortable. Echo taking on the controller role, kind of giving Fair a chance to play into the duelist a bit. So I like it. It's working out. I think we're starting to actually see the strengths of Fair quite a bit. 10-4, by the way, is crazy. But yeah, this is looking really good, if not very scary for Blue.
Yeah, the Waylay is just so frustrating to play up against sometimes, especially with the ability for him to refract out. And then you have the saturate as well that just hinders the enemy. And it makes it so difficult to go for those repositions when he's going to dash on you and somebody's on the other side. Even if the dash doesn't work out, somebody's there for the trade. Like, there really isn't that much that you can do there other than try to dodge the util, which, again, it's not an easy thing to do.
Oh my gosh. Like, if you miss with the up, you could still get one with that Hunter. It's not okay. It's really evil. And if not, I mean, with the up alone, like, I don't know, just the accuracy that we're seeing with moves has been impeccable. It's scaring them almost for Blue. They know that the op holds so much power, and now what can they do, right? Like, they're using so much util so early on, and they cannot get past this one rock of a player.
Yeah, but Fair snuck into U-Haul here, right behind the dimensional drift coming out from Omi to do that scouting. Bob isolated over in bench 2, not going to be aware of it. This dash is actually insane.
They missed the op shot, no. But a thrifty round. Okay, first round on the board, ironically enough, for Blue is going to be a thrifty, and they've played this well. So yes, it came at the cost of a couple lives. But finally, and this is all it really takes for someone to continue, right? This sort of momentum.
Yeah, it's a big round for the side of Blue Otter to win with that thrifty. I think it was really good ult usage that was done too. Having that orbital strike just denied the angle from heaven so that they could go for that reposition while the scouting was coming out from that dimensional drift was massive. But for Winthrop University, for the rounds that they've amassed and haven't really needed to use their ultimates, they've got 5 to work with here.
Oh, Pop Flash now comes through, and Winthrop, they're playing so incredibly aggressive, but this isn't like typical. This is quite new, right? The push down towards showers, trying to smoke things off and make sure nobody can get onto site here from the opposite side. But Blue Otter's feeling quite confident in this showstopper, and it does hit one. But at the end of the day, 3v4, right? Clear advantage over towards Blue, and a lot of potential.
I like that Recoil's retaking the shower space though, because for Blue Otter, they feel like there's going to be 1 to 2 players on that flank, pushing from that shower's position. The re-clear from 399 is good. Recoil needs to get at least 1.
Yeah, getting a couple. Beautiful. Okay, well, Blue, I mean, 299 kind of clutching up the round by annihilating Winthrop's controller so early on. But all in all, a very, very good performance. Already 2 rounds on the board, slowly breaking at the economy.
Yeah, it's a really nice response coming in from Blue Otter. Just that heads up play to react by fully pushing into short, knowing that site was going to be given up with the amount of Shower's presence that was there. Just very nicely done overall. And now that was also only though 1 ultimate aside from that tool de false that was expended on the side of Winthrop. So you still have a dimensional drift, you still got the orbital strike, and the conversion paths to play with. What is going on?
Yeah, at this point, like, they're really trusting in the sprays through smoke. And it did a good job, right? Tons of damage conversion still there. So at this point, they could still have such a bad round. And there it goes. The ultimate out. Potential for more. Oh,
that's huge.
To add on to the beauty of this round. And they've taken out Raze. Their duelist gone.
What?
And barely any util to play with. I don't know how Moves is running away with this. There's so much going on. And with a flank over towards Showers, that leaves Bob by themselves with the operator. But they cannot play for this.
Where did that bullet go though? Like, surely that should have hit strong tall guy in the back. I don't know if Bob made a step in that moment. I wasn't locked in enough to notice, but
yeah,
this 1v3 is just this is impossible for her.
Poison orb emitting. 30 seconds left.
Just on the right angle. Oh my gosh. I'm worried she might not see this, but she does. So it's all good. Unfortunately, though, not able to kind of run away with that pick. So it's 3 players left alive on Winthrop and kind of just taking away that 8-2. So yeah, they take it back. I don't know, Ash. I don't really think we're gonna see a 13-6, to be honest. It feels like Winthrop are trying to get as many rounds as possible to proceed.
You never know how things are going to pan out into that second half. The Desk talked about it as well. Sometimes you see that really dominant first half, and then a team is just that much more comfortable once you swap sides. For the likes of Blue Otter, attack has been a little bit of a struggle for them on this map, but so has defense. So we're going to have to see. Attack has been actually a little bit stronger than their defense has been historically, but Bob winning out that first blood, I think, is absolutely massive to shut down moves with how consistent he has been opening up these rounds.
Yeah, slow peak not playing in his favor, but Echo, okay. They've heard the fake, good thing. Strong tall guy is just sitting here waiting patiently, so they've been just anchoring down on sites, making sure they have everything underway. And of course, already 2 players trying to gain that entry onto site, trying to get that spike down, but it's not going to be easy, right? Winthrop University have been the team to make sure this team cannot get it taken. I mean, cannot get the plank down.
1 enemy remaining.
That being said, yeah, already getting everybody taken down on the side of Winthrop University. And I mean, that's that, right? Blue Otter's playing this significantly well and making sure they can at least take another round in.
The half.
Getting that third round too, I think, is just massive for Blue Otter, because really heading into a side swap, sometimes that's all you need. 3 of those rounds. 4 ideally, but especially if you're able to win out that pistol, but that's something that we'll talk about once we get into that next half. I mean, Bob has, again, just consistently been such a big part of the success that we've seen from Blue Otter. Her consistency throughout these rounds and being able to get those 13 picks in total so far has absolutely made the difference for this squad to be able to even get to the 3 in the first place. Now, immediate information to be found already by Winthrop. Fully cleared out this A side.
Time to jump.
Blue are
They're
more
totally
scattered.
contained.
Yeah. Oh no, this is not good. And they know. They have like an inkling of knowledge as to what's going on, but they're just waiting. Winthrop University, they're more of a timing-based team, right? Making sure that they can at least play off Blue Otter and their own impatience. But there it goes. Fair is perfectly placed, and if Zolstal peeks this, it is going to be recoil that's able to get more.
Dude,
and backing off on that is intense.
the Waylay gameplay is so frustrating.
Positioning is perfect too. TP out. Now they reposition themselves, and 299 has absolutely no idea what they can do. With the containment alone, it completely allowed Winthrop University to feel that level of confidence and to continue winning these rounds.
It was just so well played. That information that STG was able to find right as the barrier drops with that dimensional drift, allowing that full push out, having Winthrop scaling into market with that was huge. I honestly thought that with the long position that Blue Otter had, that maybe there was going to be some sort of TP play to try and re-clear, crunch those market players, but instead they stayed just absolutely contained. Blue Otter, Gompers, they need this pistol round. They need to take their very first pistol round of this series now to have their best chance at coming back on bind.
Oh, can it happen though? I don't know. Winthrop moves has been incredibly strong. Just with aim alone. I mean, I will say though, Blue has had a couple good tactics up their sleeve, so I guess excited on it, but they're sitting in spawn, which is questionable for me.
Dude, all that was shown was a saturate towards B long, I'm pretty sure, out of fair, and that has called for that spawn rotation to shift completely towards that B side. Zoe's still happy to give up A. They want to play some sort of retake as a team right now. Winthrop just need to get that timing right.
Bring them down.
Nobody down and back. So Winthrop feeling quite comfortable making sure, but nobody knows that there is actually also sitting inside of U-Haul in this very moment. Spike has been planted. They're feeling comfortable. They have the angle hold, and now Zolstal with the damage there. This is a hard one. Really have an understanding of who's going to win, right? Heartless having so much util here. Try to make sure that they can at least pick these angles without consequence, and that is what they will do. Blue Otter's pushing in off everything that they have in a 2v5 that they have to try to win, that they cannot. So 9-4 there, and Blue finally winning out on this pistol round.
A must-need one for them. A great retake protocol coming out from Blue Otter, netting them a flawless round. The perfect way to start this half for the Blue Otter squad, because every single one of these rounds matters, Gompers. It's not just about, you know, trying to take it to that next map. It's about that round differential as well when it does come down to who's going to get that second spot. With the fact that the last two series between Winthrop and Rose and Blue and Rose were that 13-11, 13-6, respectively. Overall, how's it gonna look now? We're playing really forward here for Ome.
Ooh. Yeah, big punishment. Unfortunate too, because the aim was there, but you know, the spray from the Stinger just didn't necessarily connect, though. There is a lot of potential here. Winthrop, they have invested quite a bit into this round, and for Blue Otters to be taking them out like this is intense. And now up to this 1v3, I'm not quite sure that Strong Tall Guy is going to be able to run away with this now. So that's a lot of money out of the pockets of Recoil.
Yeah, a little force action there. But overall, the thing is, still gonna have enough to carry over into that next round. It's at the very least measured in the sense that if they wanted to take a little bit of risk, see if they could find some sort of thrifty round in round 2. But if it doesn't, you know, kind of pan out, then you still have 4 rifles that you get to fall back on, right? For Blue Otter, I think it's also really important to take note that 399 has really been heating up over the last couple of rounds. Gompers when it was quite a slow start for those duelists to even get going. And again, these fast flutter retakes are going to be a problem.
Double dash in, fair. Proving to be a necessity here, especially with the first shot on the site. And the first blood there going in their favor. So Winthrop University, they have the plant, they have their positioning, they're sitting on the extremities actually. So they're gonna have to fight a bit harder here for Blue to try to get themselves onto site.
Yeah, trying to play these crossfires, these double swings if possible.
And just a boom bot though. That Blue can, I mean, potentially use to clear out showers, but they're going to have to get there in the first place. Winthrop are holding, and they've missed out on a lot of opportunity to take these players out. So Blue, they're strong. The showstopper, they're trying to get the volley down in time, and at least they've taken out one, but they've offset them for a second. This is possible. I mean, actually, maybe not. They have to run away, so this is a good round coming through from Winthrop.
A massive clutch coming out from Winthrop University. They're buying that time. Being able to get that molly that you were talking about down there for Echo was huge. But then again, there's a lot of weaponry now out of the hands of Winthrop University. They are onto a bit of a half by 4. Actually, no, they should be able to force up just enough into this round, but we've talked about how crazy that potential tie situation is, right, Gompers, with the 9-round differential, and with it being a 13-11 last map for Winthrop, if they want to be able to take that first seed, they've got to win out 13-5. If not, 13-6 will tie them up. However, losing any more rounds with that would actually result in their elimination.
So this is like the round, if not, for Winthrop to solidify themselves, and this is incredibly important. Not even knowing where anybody is, taking extra precautions, and what scares me is, you know, they could be a little too scared, right? Not even doing anything, just funneling themselves and allowing them to almost get sandwiched into this position. They could TP out. They don't know how far pushed up Moves is. Actually, apologies. Now they do. This is good. At this point, they know the TP has come through, but they don't know where Moves is just yet. So, yeah, dash comes through. able to solidify something, but at the same time, right, we talk a bit about that fear, and they're not clearing out the backside. They don't know what's going on. And potential here for Ome. The flash is readily available. The shots are coming through. Moves is being as aggressive as they can, but even then, the op from 299 has been proven to be something incredibly dangerous in these rounds.
They have to play so carefully into this post plant, though. You have Moves and Echo extremely low here on the side of Winthrop. This round still absolutely winnable on the side of Blue Otter. And again, you have a round, really, of leeway here for the side of Winthrop to stay within promo relegation.
And Recoil, dude, they're fighting for their lives here. This is it. You know, they lose this one. Who knows what could happen from there? There's so much residing in this round for Winthrop. If they run away with this one, which it seems like they will, nobody's able to defuse, and Ome's just gonna have to back themselves away and take the op with them. So the tension is still running thick in the air, though.
It really is. Because again, Converse, they only have one round to play with. They have one round where they can afford a mistake on the side of Winthrop if they don't want to get eliminated before that semifinals qualifying stage tomorrow when it comes down to those best of fives. Meanwhile, for Blue Otter, they know that they just need 2 rounds to secure the continuation of their run in this promo relegation tournament. This operator in the hands of 399 is going to be a huge difference maker, especially with that stack that we're seeing outside of showers right now.
Oh, and that can cost you. In reality, for Blue, that can cost you. There's only so little for Blue to do to make sure that Winthrop are not going to be able to make it. All they need to do is be a little bit more careful, but Moves is impeccable, right? Able to take at least a shot here.
Rotation gets called over. Winthrop playing so diligently. Blue Otter, they have good information over towards A short as well with how far pushed Ome is into that cubby. Now it's about running down the clock as well on some of this Viper utility. Bob, I think Wall has just recharged, so could go back up after this op shot gets fired.
Oh, this is brilliant. No, but they did not hit it again. That's the second time. Finally, okay, redeeming themselves. But even then, the dash comes through. Fair in good positioning. Can they take it? Down towards the backside. Only 3 players left. They're trying to get this rotation in from Blue. They know that this is the moment for them to take it, if not.
Convergent paths to work here into the post plant here for Fair.
Oh, wow. That might have just been a flash wasted, to be honest. There's not much they could have done. And the flash saves them. Nobody's peeking this. All they have to do is play for time. But is there time that Blue can wait for? I mean, giving them the opportunity to be at that match point is incredibly dangerous. But Fair is waiting. And they do get taken out. One more left. And can it be for STG? Strong tall guy just needs this one to take it down. They know Zostal is there, trying to TP themselves away, playing for the time, but the spray through the box, and it's not even enough, is it?
I don't know, the Halo just came up, but it's not going to be enough time. A clutch to bring Winthrop University to map and series point. Converse right down to the wire. Genuinely, just such good time that was bought with that convergent paths, but I think they just got a little too much of an itch, worried about how they were flooding onto site. That's why you saw the peek into the operator, but right down to the wire, like that hit through the tube wall was actually just insane. 2 ults to work with on the side of Winthrop University for this potential final round of this series, and for Blue Otter, they've got nothing in the tank.
Oh my gosh. This is it. This might just be the round, but Winthrop, they open up, and that's not good news. They lose 399. And maybe at this point, you know, especially with STG pushed up so far in, there could be more. I'm not sure. Our information has been given away. Bob knows, and they're trying to get some sort of spray down through the wall, but it is not connecting.
I like how they're pausing right now, though. They don't know where the other 3 players are. They don't know if a rotation has come in.
This is like a new level of fear, but I like this confidence now pushing themselves onto site. Fair is able to open with one orbital strike, connecting Winthrop University with 3 off the rip. And it's a 1-round differential that Blue Otters need to make this work. all they need is to play together here. Heartless and Zolstol. But the timing, it's the smoke going down, maybe getting a bit too aggressive here for Heartless. They have a pop flash that could assist with some sort of entry in. But here's where the fear starts. If they can at least take out 2, they might have just set themselves up. Heartless has been taken down, and Zolstol with it, the round win. 1 round left for Winthrop to have to play these best of ones, but they've actually ran away with it.
I know. They've secured the first seed now. They'll be playing up against SRG, but way to turn the tides here, Gompers. Both of these teams played up against Rose earlier this week. Winthrop, they lost 0-2, Blue Otter 2-0. But the fact that they were able to hide so much when it came down to these compositions, they had great reads on what Blue Otter has shown in previous matches, previous events as well, takes them over the line on top of just insane individual plays from players like Moobs, like Recoil, and Fair on that Waylay was so good at creating space here on Bind. An impeccable 2-0 series here for Winthrop to stay within promo relegation, Gomps.
Yeah, and really cool to see the changes too with the Waylay coming in. And, you know, I really do think this team absolutely slayed the house down. For Winthrop University to take this one after losing so many times, like, that has to be redeeming. And we're finally actually seeing the Winthrop University that we have not seen since Ascension, guys. So this might be a huge turn in what happens from here on out. But I'm going to stop talking because I need smarter people to actually talk about the game. So I'm going to hand it over to the analyst desk right after this break. Guys, please do not go anywhere.
I feel like being the absolute cinema meme right now because that was beautiful. We did not know what was going to happen at any point. 13-5, Winthrop qualifies and takes it home. If we got 13-6, we were playing another 3 games, best of ones. And if it was 13-7, Blue Otter would have qualified. That couldn't have went any cooler, in my opinion.
Yeah, that literally couldn't have been any closer. We were counting down the rounds. Like, wait, they just need 1 more. Wait, they need okay, hang on. Wait, Winthrop need 2 more, and then it was just ridiculous. And we were even talking about it at the very top of the show today. There could be an insane like 3 BO1s. The broadcast's going to get extended and stuff, but it turned out this way. I mean, that bind, it did look super one-sided. To be fair, at the very beginning, it was like, okay, they might just walk away with this, but it really was down to the knife's edge.
And if we did get a 13-6, I took out finger twister for the IGLs, but we didn't have to get to that point, so no finger twister today. But I think someone that we have to talk about is moves. The positioning, the reads of this guy, like, hello? I feel like they always knew where everyone was.
Yeah, I feel like the biggest thing for Winthrop in general was just the way that they were playing with so much confidence, and moves definitely enabled that. Especially when they started with that defensive side. They were just so good. They knew exactly how they wanted to play. They let Moves be on an island by himself, knowing that he can hold it down, kind of similar to how they were playing Abyss as well, and just making sure that they had so much space on the map. It felt insane watching Winthrop just walk down, take showers, take short control, fight for a lot of that hookah and long control as well. They just had so much power with how much space they were getting throughout the game.
Yeah, Fair was having a game as well. Obviously, most of these highlights have just been Fair for the last couple of minutes or so. But yeah, the read that they had was just incredible. Stacking sights almost perfectly. It's like they had some external assistance or something, because it was truly insane how well they were able to read them. Moves too on the with the scope, with the outlaw, with the ult, with the operate. Like, my word, she was just hitting
literally
shots.
with everything.
Literally wasn't missing. Like, it was ridiculous.
No, I'm so scared. And not only of Moves, but we saw Recoil hit some amazing, like, first blood shots to get that to a 4v5 almost immediately. We got tall, strong, talented guy over here winning in so many rounds. Fair's util, like these dashes that we saw with the use of that, like, stun and that ult. I'm telling you, it was cinema.
It really felt like they had a really good grasp on exactly how they wanted to play. And I think obviously the momentum from winning that last map also presented into this match. And I talked a little bit about them playing up front, being really aggressive and confident. And look at this, 14 first
That's
place.
crazy.
That is insane.
Absolutely insane stat. 14. Like, you cannot set your team up more for success than getting like a first pick. And a lot of the time that was Moves on the chamber. Like, ridiculous. 2 clutches coming in there as well. It just really didn't feel like Blue Otter had a chance in this series. They won like another thrifty. It was like, okay, well, the bonus, sorry. I'm like, okay, this isn't good, guys. And then they win like preceding rounds too. You're like, what? This is over. Like, it's so hard to come back from this deficit. But there was always that spark of hope where, like, okay, they just need the 6 or preferably 7 rounds. Like, you don't have to go all the way to 13, right? And that was the big and that was probably playing on Otter's minds throughout the entirety of it as well. And I wonder if that is what really affected them in the later half of this map.
Yeah, I think the pressure definitely contributed to that. And it's kind of crazy for Blue as well, because the first round they won this game was a thrifty. And what we saw from them was just being a little bit more closer, trading, playing together, and making sure that they're on top of their game. And then later on, allowing Bob to lurk, having that operator on the lurk was really good. But the issue was Winthrop was just 2 steps ahead every single time. And we talked a lot about Moves, we talked a lot about Fair, but I think every single person on Winthrop really proved themselves to be the reason why they won this match. Because for Recoil, he had really good fade util, using that eye to scan players constantly when they're trying to execute. And it was so hard for Blue to break that eye, to find that eye in time, to kind of turn around and put a halt in their execute to make it onto the site. Same thing with Echo with that brim. He was just delaying for so long, using those smokes really well, making sure the molly is there, and was one of the main reasons why they did win a lot of their retakes. So every single player really showing off that they had a really big role to play with Winthrop's win.
Yes, and it's actually kind of a little surprising to see. I thought Moobs was at the top of the leaderboard for the longest time. I think after seeing all those first bloods that Moobs did get, I thought like they were blowing it out of the water. And I think especially I was mentioning how they were going up against two controllers. To play an operator against two controllers, like you have to have such beautiful positioning to position yourself where you could actually see and there's no smoke.
It was ridiculous. Yeah. The first blood percent there as well, hitting a third of them throughout that entire map. I mean, just perfect. I mean, you can't ask for more of your chamber, locking down a site. I remember one of the rounds just holding out on B, and I'm like, oh man, this round here specifically, it was like, oh man, how can you just need to stall, you need to wait for backup, and it's like, oh wait, he can just shoot everybody and then get an ace. Like, it's like, how is that possible? Like, you have no stall util at all. You're waiting for your like Fade and everybody else to rotate, and he's like, well, actually, I'll just kill them all. It's all good. Don't need you to.
Yeah, I think he was really, really confident just taking his ones. I think what Winthrop really did too, that they did a really good job at, was changing up their defensive side. Mia, you were talking a lot about this when we were watching the game. The fact that Moobs is just able to set himself up for success. He doesn't specifically rely on someone being on the site with him. And he's doing a phenomenal job at constantly playing the weak side for them on that defensive side. And he also just ended up just taking the peaks whenever he wanted. Even if he knew there was 3 players on his site ready to be behind him, he did not matter. It worked out for him. He managed to rotate. It was just overall a really phenomenal play by Moobs. I feel like we just saw the chamber really be unleashed on this map.
Yes, not only the chamber, but again, everyone just played so cohesively with each other. And I think that is truly what won them all. It wasn't one particular person on the team. It was all of them together playing as a team. And, you know, to have those stakes of the 13-5 and 13-6 being a totally different option and 13-7 being a totally different option, I'm really excited to have a strong, tall guy come and talk about their thought process. Hello, I was joking around saying you're not only strong, tall, but also talented. You gotta make your name longer.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you. No, they made me shorten it. But anyway, that game was insane. Oh my gosh.
No, it was. And so what were you guys talking about? I mean, to know if it's like a different option between like the 2 rounds after, like, were you guys scared?
Yeah, you have no idea. Okay, I remember there was one round. We were like, we won the round, we were broke, and someone was like, we should save, and we're like, no, definitely don't save. Like, we have to win as many rounds as possible. Like, I remember on defense, we were up like 7-0 or something. We started losing a little. I was getting a little nervous, but it worked out. That was an insane game.
I know. I saw after the tech pause, I saw the Thrifty. I said whatever Blue Otter was saying at that moment was a little bit scary.
Yeah.
But I also saw the Moobs was predominantly playing on one site the entire time. Everyone else was kind of stacking towards that other site with those reads. What was the reasoning behind that?
I feel like Moves is really good at just playing alone, and he's kind of like, he's like like Gojo, you can't like be around him, you know what I mean? Like, leave him alone, he'll get a kill, get off, and we just retake or something. That's how it works, And me and Fair play together, super good.
Yes, the util, like doubling the util on top of one another. I saw like the Waylay ult and the Brim ult on top of one another. I think you guys do a really beautiful job at stacking that utility. And I saw that again in Abyss. You guys were amazing at that. So do you guys, I'm sure you talk about which ults to stack on top of each other beforehand.
Yeah, definitely. We combo a lot of ults. I think like recently, because we aren't playing with Governor and Infiltrator because they played for crew. So our comps are all like kind of weird. We don't have as much practice on, we usually run like double initiator, like Teo, KO on a lot of maps. But for this specific tournament relegation, we've been running double duelists and just playing pure comfort, like moves, chamber every single map, me, Yoru every single map, Fair on Waylay every single map. And it's been working out really well, so.
Yeah, what made you guys want to change? You just felt like I needed a momentum shift?
Yeah, momentum shift, and just like We just think comfort. Like, I mean, you see teams like Sleepers, you know, like they're just playing pure comfort, triple duelists on like Breeze and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, so we're just like, yeah, we gotta go comfort, double duelist meta, like, you know what I mean?
So are we looking at more double duelists for you guys in the future?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
All right, well, I'm so excited. Congratulations on qualifying. That was a nail biter for sure.
So close.
And
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was. My heart was pounding for everyone involved. All right, well, awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Have an awesome day.
All right.
That was good. Yeah, I think I'm not too surprised, to be honest with you. Like, yeah, Hart probably beating out of his chest. I'm curious what the comms were like too when they're up like 7 rounds like that. They must have been singing like, okay, we got this in the bag. We're not going to drop a single more round. But as the Blue Otter round slowly crept up on them, yeah, probably some frantic comms back and forth, I'd imagine.
Yes.
I think too, it's really like kind of nice to hear that they changed a lot of their comps because they were trying to find their identity, and it looks like they really found it. And so I'm really excited to see Winthrop University going forward.
Okay, so tomorrow we now have 2 games going on. One's going to be on the main broadcast. The other will still be streamed. So we have PSR up against Winthrop and SRG up against Rose. What are you guys looking forward to in these matchups?
Why don't you give me Winthrop? I just want to see them pop off again. I'm going to be honest. Just keep it coming.
No, after today, I'm like a Winthrop fan.
They've got more. They've got more is all I'm saying. Like, if they can pull that out the bag that they just did, yeah, that semis is going to be crazy.
I mean, I'm looking forward to Shopify Rebellion Gold. You guys gotta give it to me. Like
all the time.
My girlies, like I really want to see how they fare up. I think they have a really good shot, and obviously this is one of the closest times that they've been to qualifying for challengers, and I think it's gonna be super important. But I think overall, all these teams are gonna be super explosive in their game style. I think they're gonna play really, really crazily to kind of qualify and make sure that they get that spot on the line.
I mean, similar to today, like you were saying, Athena, everything's on the line tomorrow. Everyone's going to bring their A game. So if you guys weren't planning on coming by tomorrow, you should probably change your schedule to definitely come by tomorrow, because these are going to be some games that you don't want to miss. Are you guys looking forward to any person in particular tomorrow that we should keep an eye on?
Oh my God, give me Dodo Nut. Give me Dodo Nut. Let me watch her. Let me watch her go crazy. Period.
Anybody that plays Chamber, I'm gonna be honest. That's it. Really. Just give me more moves on Chamber. I only play Chamber in ranked, okay? Like, look, I just like to see good Chamber players, and I like to see scopes. So yeah, I'm down for some more moves Chamber or bind.
Okay, awesome. Well, it was so awesome today, guys. For my first time here, you guys were a pleasure. Thank you guys so much for guiding me through today's show as well.
Yeah, we all popped off. Can't lie.
Yeah.
No lies there.
All right. Well, I think it's all over. So we will see you tomorrow. I'm like still speechless from the game before.
It's not all over. We still have more games tomorrow. Don't worry. It's not all over. Just today. Just today.
Yeah, just today. Tomorrow after tomorrow will be the end. So see everyone tomorrow. Come on by. We have some good games, and I'm so excited for it.